Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get started with yet another One Piece volume reading. So let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to my One Piece full read-through. I'm probably going to change the title, even though I'm like 20 volumes in. I'm probably going to change the title so it's just like it's just like One Piece read-through or something or other. I don't know. Is the title fine for all of y'all? Because I've been wondering if it's, like too on the nose. Maybe. I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind a little bit. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. The title might be fine, but it's just something that popped into my head a little bit. Good to see you, Kohagen. Good to see you, Ogata-san. Good to see everyone here today. Today, we are going to be going through Volume 22 of One Piece, titled Hope. So, let's go ahead and get started. The Story of One Piece, Volume 22. I'm already ready. I'm already ready. Monkey D. Luffy started out as just a kid with a dream to become the greatest pirate in history. Stirred by the tales of pirate red-haired Shanks, Luffy vowed to become a pirate himself. That was before the enchanted devil fruit gave Luffy the power to stretch like rubber, at the cost of being unable to swim, a serious handicap for an aspiring sea dog. Undeterred, Luffy set out to sea and recruited some crewmates: Master Swordsman Zoro, Treasure Hunting Thief Nami, Lying Sharpshooter Usopp, the High-Kicking Chef Sanji, and the latest addition Chopper, the walk-in, talk-in reindeer doctor. Luffy and crew fight to help Princess Vivi save her war-torn and drought-ravaged kingdom from the evil Sir Crocodile and his secret criminal organization, the Baroque Works. Having finally reached the royal palace in Alabasta, Vivi devises a plan to end the civil war, only to be thwarted by the sudden arrival of Sir Crocodile, who reveals his true objective: to get his hands on the most destructive weapon of the ancient world, the Pluton. But first he intends to put an end to the rebellion himself by blowing up everyone near the palace, regardless of whose side they're on. With Luffy half dead in the Alabastan desert, and the rest of the crew taking on the officer agents in the streets of Alabasta, can anyone stop this fiend from realizing his evil plan? So, today we have chapters 196 to 205. So we're going to be entering into the 200 chapters of One Piece. Let's get started. Chapter 196. 1. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 13. A shadow draws near Hachi, who saves someone who has been eaten by a fish, who had also almost been eaten by a fish. So it's like, this is a long title for a cover story. But Hachi is, getting thanked by Kami and Papagu. Interesting. And then it cuts to someone going, "Please wait, Lord Chaka!" And then someone pops up, "Please wait, Lord Chaka!" And someone steps into the area because Chaka is preparing to fight against Crocodile. Mind you, in the last volume, we had some of the Straw Hats defeating key members of Baroque Works, such as Mr. One, Miss Doublefinger, and of course Bon Clay.
Who are you?
You're the Kicking Claw Force! And then it cuts to Robin, whose hand is bleeding a little bit.
Do not lay a hand on this man!
And then it cuts to the guards outside, because apparently the doors to the main area where everyone is has been broken open completely.
The Kicking Claw Force got the gate open!
They're the king's elite fighters! Save the king and princess! Save the king and Princess Vivi!
King Cobra, it is our duty to protect you. We have no choice but to draw our swords. If that man is one of the 7 warlords of the sea, we will use any means to defeat him. We 4.
The Kicking Claw Force, elite royal guards of Alabasta. And these dudes are all gizzied up in like high-ranking looking armor and whatnot.
We 4 will deal with him personally.
Then it cuts to Crocodile.
You seem to be quite popular, but I'll let you off. Go home.
That's not possible. It's impossible for us to turn back.
Impossible? If you are the mastermind behind this rebellion, then we must destroy you.
And then it cuts to the kicking Claw Force. Claw Force as their arms start flexing. And then marks start to appear on the arms of these dudes.
Those marks! Don't tell me you!
And then it cuts to Robin, who goes, "Shall I?" And Crocodile goes,
"Don't bother. They're vermin."
And it cuts to all the members of the Kicking Claw Force launching at Crocodile all at the same time. And then Cobra,
"It can't be!"
And it cuts to the Claw Force, and their eyes, their whole bodies are engorged with muscle, and their eyes are just completely blank.
Chaka, what's wrong with them?
In order to achieve temporary superpowers, those four drank a lethal potion. They drank the fatal fuel. They only have a few minutes to live. They can't be saved. I'm trying to remember what the 4Kids dub tried to turn the fatal fuel into. I can't remember, because I remember the Kicking Claw Force appearing. I remember them undergoing this transformation, but I can't remember what they called the fatal fuel in the 4Kids dub. It was probably something incredibly stupid, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. They drank the fatal fuel. They only have a few minutes to live. They can't be saved.
No!
I suspected as much. You'd sacrifice your lives to challenge me, eh?
And then it cuts to one of the members of the Kicking Claw Force.
"Lord Chaka, please forgive us for taking matters into our own hands, but this villain must be made to feel the pain our kingdom has suffered."
And it cuts to different locations that have been completely ravaged by sandstorms and are just barren ghost towns, even showing a noose hanging off of a tree and the shattered skull of people along with the, destroyed faucet buried in sand. And then Crocodile just looks on.
"This villain must be made to feel the pain our kingdom has suffered. This man must feel Alabasta's wrath!"
As it cuts to the Kicking Claw Force trying to hit Crocodile, but given that Crocodile is a user of the sand fruit, they all miss, and he just weaves out of the way just effortlessly. And then it cuts to Crocodile once again at the top of the building.
Not too smart. Don't take life for granted. But I suppose it's too late now. If you're going to die anyway, why should I bother to fight you?
And then it cuts to Crocodile, who's just looking at the Kicking Claw Force from down below. "He's not even going to fight," says Chaka. And then it cuts to the Claw Force, all trembling and shaking, as they start to drop to their knees and cough up blood. Because the Kicking Claw Force is, they're already on borrowed time.
"That fiend! Lord Chaka!" "This is the height of stupidity."
And it cuts to Chaka as his face begins to shift and transform.
Chaka!
"You fiend! Chaka, stop! Don't you throw your life away too!" A Zoan type. Mutt fruit. Jackal model. Howling fangs!
So, Chaka is a Zoan user who is able to turn into a jackal. And he begins attacking Crocodile by slashing through Crocodile in one big, massive 3-prong slash, I want to say.
"Will you die for your king as well?"
As Crocodile reforms himself. Then, it cuts back to the main streets. It cuts back to the main streets where Zoro was fighting Mr. One.
"You actually improved over the course of this battle. Are you going to cut through a diamond next?"
That would be such a waste. And then Mr. One just looks back at Zoro and coughs up blood and goes, "You got me." And then he finally falls over. Because remember, we ended the last volume with Zoro using Itoryu Shisunson on him, Lion Song on him, and all we got was the massive slash that erupted from Mr. One. And that's how we ended the volume. Now we see Mr. One finally falling to his knees. Alabasta, North Block, Medi Assembly Hall, the Battle of the Main Street, winner, Zoro. And then Zoro drops to his knees as he takes off his bandana. Darn, I've lost too much blood. The wound isn't deep, but it really hurts. I wonder how the others are doing. Did Nami get away? I hope no one's been killed. I wish I knew what happened. And then it cuts to someone going,
What? I'm teaming up with eyelashes?
as it cuts to when Usopp was with Sanji earlier. Usopp was with Eyelashes and Sanji earlier.
But he's a camel. You know I need all the help I can get.
You drew the short straw. Live with it, says Sanji to Usopp.
All right, but promise me one thing. If we get into a pinch, please come to our rescue.
I only rescue women, fool. And then it cuts to Sanji, who's back with Usopp in the present. Usopp, why are you crying?
Me? Crying? You're the one who's crying.
Not.
But that old mole, she said Luffy was dead.
And then back to Chopper.
Is it true?
Don't tell me you guys believe that.
As if I believe that. Are you stupid? Yeah, me too. I didn't believe it for an instant.
Of course you didn't. We need to get back to the palace as soon as possible, so suck it up. Until we put an end to this war. And then it cuts back to when they formed the plan for them to disguise themselves in order for Baroque Works to not tell which one was Vivi.
Thank you, guys.
It's a little early for thanks.
He's right. Besides, if you want to thank a pirate, you gotta show us the goods.
And then Nami makes the sign for, getting money. The sign for money.
Hasn't this kingdom been squeezed enough?
Because, that's all Nami really has on the brain.
Sheesh, I finally got it untangled. So this was the one-shot wonder. The rebels are just around the corner.
And it shows Nami unraveling her climate baton from the unconscious body of Ms. Doublefinger. Then it cuts to more rebels fighting each other.
The situation has changed. I better head for the palace.
Then we cut back to another flashback with the team preparing to run out in order to cover Vivi. But remember one thing, Vivi. After a fight, Luffy can really put away the food.
Okay, I'll be waiting for you in Alabasta. I'll be waiting for you in Alabasta!
Okay? Alright, it's do or die, so don't screw up. Let's go. We'll meet at the palace. And that's when the Straw Hat crew covered themselves up to disguise themselves as Vivi to throw off Baroque Works. Then it cuts to Sanji, Usopp, Chopper, and Eyelashes. And Usopp got dropped off of Eyelashes as they're making their way through. Nami's going off, trying to find her way around. And Zoro's, unconscious from blood loss. And after his fight with Mr. One. This is a bad dream. How can this be? And the rebels are advancing on our flank!
Chaka!
Ugh. And then it cuts to the bloodied claw of Crocodile as he's apparently defeated Chaka. Weakness is an unforgivable sin. And then someone goes,
Vivi! Huh?
Palace Square. Time until the explosion? 25 minutes. It's going to take me more than 25 minutes to get through a lot of these chapters. So by the time I get to the end of it, the place would have already blown up. That's the end of chapter 196. We'll move on to chapter 197 after this SBS. Reader, just now I came upon a person in strange glasses lying in the street, so I bought him a beef bowl for lunch. Out of gratitude, he gave me an unusual ring with a sheet of instructions that read, How to Hypnotize People. So, since you've been having trouble lately getting the question corner started, I'm going to hypnotize you to help it go more smoothly. Are you ready? Look closely at the ring. When I say 1, 2, Janko, not Django, Janko. You will begin the question corner immediately, no matter what. Here I go. 1, 2, Janko! Whoa! Let's start the question corner. And then Oda's all like, what? Did you hypnotize yourself? Reader, Oda-sensei, I love One Piece. I go to the store every day to see if the latest volume has arrived. The waiting is agony. So would you list the dates when One Piece hits the stores, please? White Cat Pirates. Oda. Huh? That's a lot of trouble, but I understand. So for the sake of you fans that buy the graphic novel, I'm going to reveal the release schedule. Please note it in your calendars. One Piece comics are released in the following cycle. 2 months, 2 months, 3 months. So after 3 months, you'll know when the next 2 volumes will be released. Got it? Got it? Got that? This release schedule is for Japan. And this is the editor letting us know this. Oda. Oh yes, I forgot. There was an error in volume 21. I found it myself and I wanted to tell you about it right away. In the title drawing for the question corner, I drew Crocus and Laboon again like I did in volume 18. Oh well, I must have had Crocus fever in volume 21. Am I repentant? Yes. Yes. I say this as I pick my nose. This is written out. Anyway, we'll continue in the next question corner. Chapter 197, The Leaders. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, volume 14. The macro fishmen pirates on the scene, and on the kanji on the head dude in front is deep, as we come across other fishmen who are just apparently walking up to Hachi and company. And then it cuts to Vivi.
Koza!
You used the secret passage.
Yay, it's Koza. He's up there now.
Are my eyes deceiving me? I came to reason with the royal army, but instead...
And it shows Koza looking at all the defeated members of the Kicking Claw Force, the defeated Chaka, and even King Cobra nailed to the wall.
Chaka.
And then it cuts to Cobra, it shows Robin smiling, and then it shows Vivi biting her lip.
I find the king being killed by our national hero. This can't be happening. What an interesting development. We're right in the middle of a rebellion, and here we have the leaders of the two sides coming face to face. Why, this war is nothing more than a lot of headless chickens flogging each other to death.
Then Robin.
Confused? It's actually quite simple. Just imagine the worst possible scenario.
And then it cuts to Toto, as Koza remembers him going, "Trust in the king, Koza." Then it cuts to Cobra.
Do you love this kingdom?
And he sees Cobra nailed to the wall.
Of course! This is my country!
And then it cuts to Vivi going,
Koza, listen!
Vivi! Who was it that stole the reign from this kingdom?
It was all...
my doing, Koza. All the crimes you rebels blamed on the king were a trap set by my organization. And for the last 2 years, you've danced very prettily for us, while the royal family and the army tried desperately to stop us. You'd have died a happier man if you hadn't discovered the truth.
And then it cuts to Cobra, who goes, "Don't listen to him, Koza."
Your Majesty, there is something you must do right now. Save as many of our people as you can.
And then it cuts to Chaka, who goes,
"In less than half an hour, the palace square will be the site of a titanic explosion."
"What?"
"You're still alive."
And it cuts to Chaka still screaming out,
"Hurry!"
as Koza takes off. And then Vivi rushes to Koza and tackles him.
No!
"Hey, let me go, Vivi. What are you doing? That square is going to be a battlefield. If it's going to be blown up..."
It won't become a battlefield. You're still too rattled to think straight. If the royal army learns that the square is going to be blown up,
Chaos will reign. We won't be able to stop the war and the bloodshed will continue. Isn't that right?
Ah, admirable reasoning.
There's only one thing to do. This rebellion of his has to be stopped.
And it cuts to the rebels still fighting in the streets.
And you're the only one who can do it.
And then it cuts to Crocodile behind Vivi, preparing to kill her, going,
Do you really think I'd stand by and let you do that?
and Vivi looks back, Koza gets prepared to fight, but Chaka is right in front of Crocodile and he blocks his sword.
Chaka!
The guardian deity of Alabasta, the jackal. All enemies of the royal family must be destroyed. As long as there's a spark of life in me, I will fight on. Yes, you're a magnificent fool. Koza, Princess Vivi, do what you must. I can still stall him for a few minutes.
Right.
Is that all? And you call yourself the leader of the Sand Band?
Chaka!
As it cuts to a flashback when Chaka was training Koza.
Hey, no fair! Go easy on me!
What a pest. And after you begged me to teach you.
Ugh.
Guard squad to headquarters! Guard squad 2 to headquarters. Sorry. Guard squad 2 to headquarters! Guard squad 2 to headquarters! Squad 4 has been wiped out! The rebels have gotten past the main square and are heading towards North Block. They're approaching the palace! Raise the white flag of surrender! Raise the white flag now! Royal Army! Now! Raise the white flag now, Royal Army! Now! Oh wait, this is Vivi. This is Vivi saying this.
Raise the white flag of surrender! Raise the white flag now, Royal Army, now!
Princess Vivi, what are you saying? Surrender?
But what will become of the kingdom?
Hey, look there! It's Koza! What's the leader of the rebels doing here?
Listen to me. We don't want to overthrow the king anymore. Enough lives have been lost. Let's stop this war. I'm going to inform the rebel forces that this war was wrong. There's no reason to fight anymore. We mustn't shed any more blood. Raise the white flag! I beg you! And then it cuts to the rebels. As they're going,
The king's head is within reach! I can see the watchtower! We've reached the palace square! Prepare to attack! Ready your weapons!
and then they all look up as it cuts to a hand going, Stop!
Huh?
As it cuts to Koza, who's standing with the rest of the royal army, and they're all holding white flags.
White flags? The royal army is surrendering!
Koza?
The battle is over! Throw down your weapons, my fellow rebels! The royal army wants peace! And then it cuts to Vivi. As she's just gripping, watching as everyone is stopped.
Please stop.
And then there's just silence. And then it cuts to one of the members of the rebel army. Are you sure, Koza? Yes, the fighting is... And then all of a sudden, before Koza can even continue, Koza is shot from behind. And then it cuts to individuals behind the royal army who also happen to have Baroque Works tattoos on their arms. And they're just laughing.
The king's soldiers shot Koza!
And that is the end of chapter 197. Onwards to chapter 198, 4:15 p.m. And it cuts to Koza as he falls backwards after being shot in the back.
Koza!
Goes Vivi.
We're gonna build a great city. We'll make this kingdom even richer than it is now.
Rebels, don't attack.
Koza thinks to himself as he falls backwards. Koza!
Baroque Works.
You fool! Why did you shoot Koza? As it cuts to one of the Baroque Works members just laughing over this discord that they caused. And they're all like, it's like, here's what I would have done. I would have shot him. This man is trying to have peace, and then you shoot him, and then you laughing about it? No, you getting shot. You getting shot. You fool! Why did you shoot Koza? And they're just laughing it off. Then it cuts to Koza, who's just laying on the ground, bloodied. And then all of a sudden, Koza just struggles to go, Rebels, listen. And then all of a sudden, the whole air gives way as a massive gust of wind just sweeps through all of them. What a sandstorm? Listen. And then, as this smoke screen pops up, another member of the rebels gets shot. They're shooting at us! Blast them! Rebels, no! I've never seen a dust storm like this before. I can't see anything! And then it cuts to other members, and then it cuts to a member of the Royal Guard who gets shot. Those dirty rebels! And the whole area is just covered in sand like this. They can't see anything, which means they can't see who's shooting, so they can't tell if it's members of Baroque Works or not. And it turns out that it is a member of Baroque Works on the side of the rebels. Baroque Works has infiltrated both camps. There's no way you can stop this. So Crocodile has sent members to both sides to ensure that the chaos continues. That person would get kneecapped too.
No!
It was all a trap. The Royal Army can't be trusted. And then it cuts to the ticking inside of a clock tower. What a dirty trick.
Please, rebels, listen to me. Please stop. Don't fight.
Stop. Rebels. This battle is... And then it just cuts to more gunfire going back and forth between both sides. As it cuts to a clock tower in the distance. Turn and fire, Royal Army! And then the fighting continues. What was once a way for them to see peace and maybe stop the fighting, caused Baroque Works to just open fire on both sides, from both sides, to keep the fighting going, as the Rebel Army and the Royal Army go back to fighting once again. And the fighting continues, and Vivi can only watch on as the chaos continues.
Stop. But they can't hear you now. You fought well, little girl, but they can't hear you now.
And then cuts to, because this is Robin saying this, and then it cuts to Cobra. Is this the end? Run, Vivi! Get away from Crocodile!
No! This dust storm is your work, isn't it? There's still hope. If I can prevent the explosion, I can lessen the number of casualties.
If you do this, you can stop the rebellion. If you do that, you can stop the rebellion. Wake up, princess. Your idealism makes me want to vomit.
As he grabs Vivi by the neck.
Only those with true power can afford to have ideals.
I don't care what you think. I'll never abandon my ideals.
As she starts to tear up.
A monster like you could never understand. As princess, I'm responsible for the welfare of my people. I will never yield to you.
What a brat you are.
I will save this.
And then it cuts to more explosions happening down below. And then it cuts to Crocodile strangling Vivi. Then it cuts to the clock tower ticking.
Vivi! The square is going to be destroyed in 15 minutes, and the rebels are still gathering there. Are still gathering here. They're rushing blindly to their doom. If you had warned the Royal Army of the explosion earlier, it might have caused a panic, but you could have saved thousands of lives.
Enough! Please, Crocodile! Stop this madness! Goes Cobra.
Your naive belief that you can save everyone will only result in the annihilation of your beloved people.
And then it cuts to back when the citizens saw the dance powder. This is dance powder!
I've been laughing at you people from the very beginning. This kingdom is full of fools.
And then it cuts to Igaram. No, you cannot. It's too dangerous. And these are just flashbacks.
You spied on my organization for 2 years. Well done.
Then to Toto.
Don't you recognize me? Well, I guess I have lost a little weight. But in the end, all your efforts were in vain. Your wishful attempts to pacify the rebels and save the kingdom only multiplied the death toll. This kingdom is doomed. You can't save it.
And Vivi continues to tear up, and then Crocodile just turns the hand he's strangling her with to sand, and she just falls. And all Vivi can do is just close her eyes as Crocodile just laughs at her. And then he looks out of his eye, and he sees something in the distant sun. And then it gets closer, and closer, and closer. And it turns out that it looks like Pell, and there's someone on his back.
Impossible!
And the person who's on top of Pell is Luffy, as he screams out, "Crocodile!"
Luffy!
Straw Hat!
And that is the end of chapter 198. Luffy's back! Guess who's back? Oh, Luffy's back, and he's not
Too happy about the things that Crocodile has been doing to his friends. He's not too happy about it. He looks kind of upset. I'm just saying that's how he looks.
We got an SBS, and then we can move on to chapter 199. Reader! Oda-sensei, something's been bothering me. What country are Luffy and the others from? In my sociology class, we learned that Japanese pirates were called wako. Is this a Japanese translation or something, or is pirates a special term used in this manga? Please tell me. Kudo-man. Yo, Psycho, good to see you. Oda! Well, first of all, Luffy and his crew are not citizens of any country, and I won't make any conclusions about their ethnicity. Thank you, because so many people like to put ethnicity behind Luffy and characters and what have you, but there really isn't one for any character in the entire series. Like, you can't really classify them by a set ethnicity, which makes them ambiguous when it comes to their ethnicity. So if you want to claim Usopp as members of your black family and invite them to the cookout, you can. If you want to accept Mr. One into your family, then you can. They're not limited that way. That's what I like about Oda. He doesn't base them off of he doesn't base people off of ethnicity or anything of that nature. He just creates characters. And I won't make any conclusions about their ethnicity. As for Wako, let's see. Historically, Wako were pirates. Wako mostly attacked in boats along the Korean peninsula and the Chinese mainland. Once in a while, our history books mention sending soldiers to Korea. These soldiers were actually pirates. They were there to pillage. They were bad guys. The Murakami Suigun water army terrorized and controlled the Seto Inland Sea. They were pirates too. They had a real impact on Japanese history, though most people don't know much about them. I once researched the difference between the Wako and the Suigun. Actually, the Suigun were sometimes called Wako, so there really wasn't much difference. In any case, there were lots of pirates in Japan. Reader, what is the speed limit on the Oka My Way, Mr. Subonkure? Oda, the speed limit is 300 fake eyelashes an hour. And that's the end of SBS. Onwards to chapter 199, Hope. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 15. A reunion with old comrades. So it turns out that the individuals from these deep pirates, these fishmen pirates, not fishmen pirates, but these pirates underwater turns out to be old friends of Hachi's. But it cuts to Pell and Luffy. Cuts to Pell and Luffy as they sail towards Vivi. Phew, I made it in time, as Luffy manages to catch Vivi before they hit the ground. And Vivi just holds on to Luffy.
Luffy, Pell.
And she's crying.
There's no time. There's going to be a huge explosion in the square. Everyone will be killed. No one can hear my pleas. Alabasta is...
And then Luffy interrupts by going, "Don't worry. I can hear your voice." And he just smiles. Like the smile of Luffy is capable of making anyone smile. And they go sailing over everywhere else. And then it cuts to someone going, "Why am I carrying you? I'm more injured than you are."
Quit complaining, you're a man, aren't you? I hurt my leg. I can't even stand up. Now shut up and run. Oh, I feel so faint.
Faker! As it cuts to, it looks like, it cuts to Zoro as he's apparently carrying Nami. And then it cuts to Pell. "Be careful, Luffy. I ate a lot of meat, and I'm itching for a fight. There's no way I can lose." As Luffy looks up, and he starts, like, spinning his arm around and round, limbering up. He looks up, and he sees Crocodile at the top of the palace.
How did you get out of the quicksand?
And then Luffy stretches his arm, prepares to stretch his arms, and then it cuts to Chopper, who runs in.
Ah! Luffy's alive!
Chopper?
What? Luffy?
Ugh.
Vivi's here too!
And then it cuts to Luffy, who stretches his arms up to the top of the palace.
See? Didn't I tell you? I knew it all along! Really?
Sure you did. As Sanji walks up.
Usopp! Sanji! Vivi, what happened to you? You're hurt.
Usopp!
And then it cuts to Nami hitting Usopp in the back of the head.
Nami! Mr. Bushido! You're all okay. I asked you to make me a weapon, not a party favor.
"I thought you couldn't stand up!" Cuts Zoro, who's mad and upset that he had to carry Nami, and Nami is perfectly capable of standing on her own. "Nami!"
But you figured it out in the end, right?
When this is over, you're dead.
Please, Chopper, bury my remains in the wilderness. She's killed you!
What's the situation, Vivi? What's with this dust storm?
"Hey you, why's Nami injured? How could you?" "She's fine." Then it cuts to Luffy. "Sorry you guys, that guy beat me out in the desert. But I won't lose again. Take care of things here." "Go get him, Luffy."
If you can't beat him, who can?
"Let's end this, once and for all," as Luffy is fully prepared to fight. And then the whole crew goes, "Yeah!"
That's right. I'm not fighting alone anymore.
As Vivi wipes the tears from her eyes. And then Pell just smiles silently. "Hey, Croc!" And as Luffy launches himself up to the building.
Croc! Swing until you're blue in the face. You'll never hit me. Must I skewer you again?
As Luffy sails straight towards Crocodile, and then his arm pumps up. And then Crocodile begins to turn into sand. But before he turns into sand, Luffy, with that same arm, hits Crocodile directly in the face, causing Crocodile to lose his cigar. This Crocodile has drawn blood, ladies and gentlemen. Luffy has injured and hit Crocodile. In a beautiful two-spread panel showing Crocodile's face going, you know, and he sends Crocodile flying, and Crocodile honestly can't believe what's going on. And as Luffy skids backwards, he starts revving up his feet Sonic style, and then he latches his arms onto Crocodile. "Gum Gum? Who is that?"
Blasted runt.
And it cuts to Luffy, who's already latched onto Crocodile, and launches towards him. "Gum Gum?
Impossible. Did that kid?
Buzzsaw!" And using his body, spinning forwards, he hits Crocodile and lands another blow on him. I wonder how can Crocodile dry people, but he can't stand water? I think it gets explained in some of these chapters. Gum Gum Buzzsaw! And he hits Crocodile once again. And then he flips backwards and Luffy's just laughing. And then Crocodile's just laying on the ground. Yeah, Crocodile just got laid out. But I wonder how Crocodile can dry people, but he can't stand water. Okay, so the difference being is that Crocodile can absorb the moisture from different things. But he also has a weakness if water touches him. It's different if he can dry things with his hand, but if water hits him, then it sort of dries him out. Like, I say it again, but I'll explain it. I'll explain it in a minute. But Crocodile has been laid out completely. He toppled Crocodile. And Luffy's standing there with a big old barrel on his back. And then Robin is just going, And then it cuts to the rebels fighting. And then Luffy says, get up. Ooh, I love how he said that. The clock tower is ticking. And then Crocodile goes, I figured it out back there. When the water from Yuba soaked your arm, I could grab it. If water touches you, you can't turn into sand. That's why you stole the rain. You're afraid of water. Now I can hit you. Get ready for a real fight, Sandman. So, Crocodile is capable of absorbing water, but due to his ability to turn into sand, water hitting him negates that whole ability for him to be able to actually turn into sand. That's one of his weaknesses as a Devil Fruit user. This isn't me spoiling it. He literally just got it explained here. He can absorb water, but he can't do it if he's trying to turn into sand at the same time. Because if he was capable of absorbing moisture while he's turning into sand, he would be unstoppable, and this whole fight between him and Luffy would not work. Like Sandman from Spider-Man 3. Nika, that's exactly right. Like Sandman from Spider-Man 3. Yeah, he can absorb moisture and everything, but if his body gets wet at any point, then that part of him can't turn into sand. That's one of his weaknesses as a Devil Fruit user. Now I can hit you. Get ready for a real fight, Sandman. And then Crocodile is just laughing to himself, still laying on the floor. And that's the end of chapter 199. We'll move on to chapter 200. Before that, we got another SBS. Reader, the town on the other side of the tunnel was very strange. Oda, okay, let's continue. What? Reader, hey, Mr. Bon Clay, yeah, you! You brag about your dancing too much. Your porte de bras stinks. Get it right. And your toe shoes aren't even tied properly. The ribbons go around your ankles. Your ankles! They should go 2 centimeters higher. And your swan arabesque! Ha! You're not raising your leg correctly. You won't be ready to attempt an attitude turn. You won't be ready to attempt an attitude turn for at least another 100 years. Start over from the beginning and shave your legs. Oh, like Gaara? To a degree. Oda, Well, I called him. Here he is. Mr. 2.
Joe Dungeon, now yo! This ain't no joke. Shave my legs? Never. If I shave my legs, I be nothing. My leg hair is what makes me unique. Unless you're saying you want to get rid of me. Is that it? Oh, and you say you studied ballet for 10 years? Well, isn't that something? But I've been studying my old come-my-way karate for 20 years. Got any complaints? If you do, I'll be happy to give you some free lessons. I'll twirl and twirl and twirl. Yes, I will.
Oda, okay, enough of that, Hambone. Reader, hello, Oda-sensei. My name is Inati. Why does Vivi always pull on Usopp's nose? Oda, well, let's say there's a pot in front of you. What part of it would you grab? You'd grab the handle, right? You grab the part that sticks out. I guess that's the reason. It's probably the easiest place to grab, right? I guess it just works. Like, Todd Howard games. Oh, the Xbox showcase is going to be interesting. Starfield better deliver. I'm just saying. Chapter 200, Water Luffy. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 16. Kami's Surprise. A deal with the fishmen for the Octopus Fritters map. And it cuts to... Apparently Hachi staring at this map while both Papagu and Kami are screaming out, "No!" But let's continue with Water Luffy. Then we cut to Usopp.
Find the guy who's gonna set off the explosion? But how?
There's no time to think. We only have 10 minutes.
But if the blast is 3 miles in diameter, then he's got to be shooting from at least 1.5 miles away, right?
No! I'm sure whoever's going to set off the explosion is near the square.
But if he's that close, won't he blow himself up too?
What else would you expect from that croc jerk? He sacrificed his own people?
He's despicable.
And then it cuts to, what in the world? What was that? Interesting. I gotta be careful when I'm close to my pop filter.
He's despicable,
Says Sanji. Then Pell draws his sword. Then we'd better... And before Zoro can even finish that sentence, both Zoro and Sanji defend Vivi from this one random rebel that comes up right behind her. Zoro blocks his sword while Sanji kicks him in the face.
Ah! Found you, princess. If we bring back your head, we'll all get big promotions.
As it cuts to members of Baroque Works. It cuts to members of Baroque Works who have found Princess Vivi.
The billions!
Then Sanji and Zoro look at each other.
10 minutes minus how many seconds will this take?
Don't waste time talking. And they both say, 2 seconds. And they both just wreck shop. With the members of Baroque Works.
We're going on ahead!
Ah! Scatter, everyone! But first, let's get out of this dust storm!
As everyone but Zoro and Sanji take off.
10 minutes.
Hurry, let's go too.
Yeah!
As both Sanji and Zoro finish beating up the billions, and they both make their way to try and find out where this shooter is.
This is the moment of truth. This kingdom's fate will be decided in 10 minutes.
And then it cuts to Crocodile, who finally gets up.
You again. Do you really think you can beat me?
That's right.
I'm surprised you figured out my weakness in those circumstances. But there's no way you'll ever defeat me, boy.
I gotta be careful breathing like that. I just got lightheaded. I gotta be careful.
But there's no way you'll ever defeat me, boy. You're not in my league. I am one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
If you're one of the 7 warlords of the sea, then I'm the 8th warlord of the sea. And it's just silence over Luffy saying something so ridiculous. And Cobra goes,
Who is this lad?
He's a pirate. I guess you haven't heard. Looks like he saved the princess's life. Again.
Then is he the one who brought Vivi back to Alabasta?
And then Robin is just laughing to herself. Gum Gum Pistol! And then Crocodile dodges out of the way of the pistol.
What good is that if it can't hit me? Even if it's wet. My palm can suck the moisture out of anything.
Rats! I forgot about that trick! And then Luffy starts rushing towards Crocodile with his arm upstretched, and he tries to kick Crocodile. And Crocodile reforms beyond him. And then Luffy starts drinking water after his arm got, drained of moisture, just like before. You said it yourself. Devil fruit powers are only as strong as a person using them. And then it cuts to Luffy, who not only drinks water to reform his arm again, but also douses himself in water so it's harder for Crocodile to drain him of moisture. Gum Gum Pistol! And as his fist goes forwards, he basically pulls on his arm to, thwang it and cause his pistol to go in multiple directions in rapid fire succession. Shotgun!
Yeah, very clever. Desert Spada!
And then Luffy sees it. That again? And he sees it, and in the anime, he goes like, uh-oh. And then his whole body just straightens up in a straight line as he avoids the Desert Spada. And then it cuts to Then it cuts to Luffy going. It cuts to the side of the palace erupting from the desert Spada. And then we see like a giant clean cut into the ground from where Crocodile pretty much eroded the entire area. Because the way that Desert Spada works is basically Crocodile uses extremely fast-moving sand to cut through an object with extreme erosion. So that's exactly how Desert Spada works. I should probably explain how a lot of attacks works in One Piece. I should probably explain it because I know how it works. But it just leaves like a massive deep cut into the palace roof right now. That was close! Gum Gum! And he shoots his forward towards He shoots his forward. He shoots his fist forward towards Crocodile.
The same trick over and over again. You expect to beat me like that?
And then Luffy, instead of causing his fist to hit Crocodile, actually has his body retract with his fist so that he's in front of Crocodile before Crocodile can even react. Yep, I know I will! And then Luffy proceeds to hit Crocodile once more, sending him face first into the ground. This was my plan from the very start, to get you soaking wet!
I expected that.
Huh?
Sables!
As Luffy gets launched into the air along with his water barrel. The barrel! The barrel!
You seem desperate, Straw Hat. Without that barrel, you're helpless, which means this battle will end exactly as our first one did.
And then it cuts to Luffy. You're right. This is the same as before. And then it cuts to Crocodile, who's just staring at Luffy. Buffering? Buffering? Are we buffering? No, that might be on your side again, Kohagen. We're good on my end. Nothing's happened. We're still good on my end. I don't got the buffering wheel. It might be on your end, Kohagen. It might be on your end again. It might be on your end again. Because the stream is still fine on my end. Yeah, it might be something on your end, Kohagen. But everything is still running fine here. You're right. This is the same as before. How's this then? I'm no longer the same.
You're unhinged. You're unhinged.
Water, Luffy! There! And then it cuts to, Kohagen, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. But it cuts to Luffy, who throws down the barrel after he's apparently ingested all the water that he had in the barrel. Ah! I sprung a leak! As it cuts to a small hole on Luffy's midsection, spraying out water. Because remember, this is still the same spot where Crocodile basically impaled him. So he's not completely healed up.
Is this fool serious?
Oh boy, I got a water belly. Maybe I drank too much.
And then Nico Robin just starts laughing at Luffy. She just starts laughing at him.
Don't you realize the trouble you're in? Are you mocking me? I'll teach you to play around with me, boy!
And then Luffy looks, and then all of a sudden, he glugs up some water and spits it at Crocodile. And it covers Crocodile completely in water, thereby keeping him from turning into sand.
Blast!
Who's playing around?
My body!
I'm always serious! Gum Gum Bazooka! And Luffy lands a solid bazooka on Crocodile's midsection. And that's the end of chapter 200. Onwards to chapter 201, Nico Robin. And it shows Crocodile spitting up blood, teeth gritted and everything, as he's sent flying into a small awning area. I don't know exactly what you would call it. A small awning area, and it just gets completely destroyed from him crashing into it. How's that, Croc?
Incredible.
And then Cobra screams out in pain as the nails in his arms gets pulled out by Robin.
I'm afraid you won't get to see the rest of the fight, Cobra. now you're going to take me to the poneglyph.
Why would you want to see such a thing?
Don't ask stupid questions. Just take me there.
As she puts Cobra in like an arm hold. And then Luffy just looks at her.
Your luck has run out. There's no more time.
Hurry and go, Nico Robin, unless you want to die too. I've no more patience for this. Nico Robin?
As you wish.
As it cuts to Crocodile, who puts his hand on the grass and the ground.
Watch, Straw Hat, as I make every piece of rock in this courtyard disintegrate.
And then Luffy starts watching as all the grass starts immediately shriveling up and dying. The grass is dying! And even the tree starts immediately moving. I'm coming up with brand new words today, aren't I? As the trees around Luffy starts losing their leaves.
Ground Secco!
And then the whole area around Crocodile just starts to cave in and crack everywhere.
What the?
And then Luffy almost starts to fall between the cracks as the entire area starts to split apart.
Ah! I'm falling! Whoa! Oh no! That dirty water pistol! Water pistol!
And then Luffy shoots out 3 globs of water at Crocodile. And then Crocodile holds up his hand and he absorbs all of it.
Huh? He swallowed it up with his hand!
Did you think you could defeat me like that? Water Luffy? Well, you were wrong. The essence of my sand power lies in dehydration. Watch, my right hand dries up everything. Trees, rocks, even the earth.
And then it cuts to the same ground as it starts to be split apart and broken up by Crocodile as it starts to turn into sand.
Everything around me will become a desert.
The rocks, even the statues are turning into sand. The ground is drying up. Ah, even my sandals.
Everything that this palm falls upon shrivels up and dies. Ground death!
As the entire ground underneath Crocodile starts to turn to sand underneath him. And then it turns to the entire courtyard as it just erupts in sand.
Step aside. I'm in a hurry. No! We know what's been happening here in Alabasta. The wounded soldiers told us everything. Who do you think that man you're escorting is? Who really cares? I hate government people. Now step aside or else.
And then it turns out that this person standing in the way of Nico Robin and King Cobra is Tashigi and her men.
We have no intention of letting you pass. Then you'll have to die.
Wait, never mind me. Stop the fighting in the palace square. There's going to be a huge explosion at 4:30. You must try to prevent it.
What? The lives of 1 million citizens? That's what? That's in 7 minutes.
The lives of 1 million citizens are at stake.
But...
And then it cuts to Tashigi going,
We'll save you. Then stop the explosion.
Wait, this woman is...
Take aim! Get out of my way,
goes Nico Robin as she glares at Tashigi.
Trienta fleur. What?
And then it cuts to all the soldiers behind Tashigi as they're put in forceful chokeholds.
Strangle!
They're put into strangleholds to the point where they're actually being strangled to the point of coughing up blood. That's how forceful this strangle actually is.
The devil fruit power! I told you I was in a hurry. You do well not to make me angry.
Sergeant! That woman! She's Nico Robin! I'm sure of it! Captain Smoker told me to find the wanted poster for her. She once had a huge bounty on her head. She was infamous the world over. I remember the headlines from 20 years ago. She was accused of sinking 6 marine vessels when she was only 8 years old. The government declared her a top-level public menace. They offered a whopping 79 million berries for her capture, but she disappeared and no one's seen her since.
Enough talk. Make your choice. Step aside or die. It doesn't seem to bother her that she's outnumbered. Sergeant, take everyone to the square. We have to stop that explosion.
But target Sergeant Tashigi.
Immediately!
Yes, ma'am. And then it cuts to the clock tower, ever ticking onwards and onwards.
Let him go! Now!
I warned you. As Nico Robin puts her hands up, and Tachigi finds that her hands are separated, but multiple other hands that don't belong to her are also keeping her head and neck forced backwards, while another pair of hands holds her very own sword to her own throat. And Tashigi can only look on in horror. She can only look on in horror as she's being placed at Nico Robin's mercy. And then it cuts to Navy soldiers just running through the streets as the rebels continue to fight the Royal Army. And then Tashigi's glasses fall to the ground, broken. And that's all we see at the moment. Then we cut to Luffy, who's struggling to grab onto the top of the building.
That was close. That guy's right hand is dangerous. The lawn turned into a desert. Where'd he go?
You're making me waste my energy.
As Crocodile appears above Luffy, and then grabs Luffy by the throat. Then Luffy spits out 3 shots of water into the air, and Crocodile dodges.
You missed.
Go!
Once again, you lose, Straw Hat.
As Crocodile drains all the moisture from Luffy. He just drains the moisture from Luffy again. Well, he drains the moisture completely from Luffy. And all we see is the shriveled body of Luffy being held up by Crocodile. And that's the end of Chapter 201. Onwards to Chapter 202, The Royal Mausoleum. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 17. In search of the legendary super yummy octopus fritter recipe. Fritters sound good. They sound good. I'm hungry. I need a big sandwich. I want a big sandwich. I just want to eat like a big sandwich. Like just a really big sandwich. I'm hungry. I am hungry. Small meals will not do. I'm hungry. But it cuts back to this Crocodile. You guys didn't come here to see me talk about me being hungry. Y'all came here to see me read One Piece. My apologies.
You make a nice mummy. In 6 minutes, the palace square will be blown sky high, along with this lawn. So stay and celebrate the coming of the Sand Kingdom's new king. Sorry, time is short. I must be going too. The Royal Mausoleum is west of here.
As it cuts to Crocodile, who turns into sand and disappears. Now you're giving me ideas. Look, Kohagen, I'm hungry, and I want a big sandwich. I don't want just like a 4-finger plate from Zaxby's with fries, even though that does sound good. But part of me just wants like a big, meaty sandwich to eat. Just a real good, meaty sandwich. I don't know if I want a double quarter pounder with cheese. I don't know if I just want like a basic double baconator. Pastrami? I never tried pastrami before. One day I'll have to try that, Ogata.
Sorry, time is short. I must be going. The Royal Mausoleum is west of here.
And then it cuts to the mummified body of Luffy. And then it cuts to the flashback of Luffy spitting the water into the air. I need to get back to this chapter. Sorry for taking so long. And it shows the smirking face of Crocodile.
You missed.
Then it cuts back to these same droplets of water that are in the air, still airborne, and they fall back towards Luffy, and they hit Luffy. And Luffy completely wakes up.
Ah! Whew! I thought I was a goner that time. Lousy Croc, he's gone.
I saw him go off that way.
You won't get away from me!
Because Luffy is completely revitalized, and he's prepared to go after Crocodile. But I'm getting Zaxby's. A big forefinger. Wait, hold on. My sister has informed me that the forefinger plate from Zaxby's comes with increased size. I'm getting an increased size Zaxby's double 6-finger plate with double fries today. Oh, the hunger is great. But going back to it, to the west of the palace, the royal mausoleum, tomb of the royal family. And it cuts to Nico Robin along with Cobra.
A secret stairway.
The poneglyph is down there, deep inside. Few people know of its existence.
The tentacles of the criminal underworld are far-reaching. You may be the king of a member nation of the world government, but don't think you know everything.
You can read the poneglyph?
Yes, that's why Crocodile teamed up with me. That's why he can't kill me.
I heard she says that they go in 4-finger, 6, and 8, and then also 12. I'm feeling a 6-finger plate today. I need to have a whole bunch of food today.
That's why he can't kill me. Don't blame yourself. There's no way you could have known there was someone who could read the writings. Your poneglyph here reveals the location of the Pluton, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know. Generations of Alabastan kings have been entrusted with protecting the poneglyph. That is our only duty.
Protect it? Don't make me laugh.
And then Cobra just looks on. And then we cut to the mausoleum underground, and it's very extensive, and it's very ornate and highly decorated.
Impressive.
It lies beyond the last door.
And then Robin opens up a door.
That's it.
And then it cuts back to the rebel army as they're fighting the royal army outside.
Weaklings!
What are you doing, you idiot? Because it cuts to Usopp, who's standing there, and he's just laughing maniacally, and his finger has apparently he painted his finger gold.
What are you doing, you idiot? Goes Zoro.
Ah! I'm trying to think like Crocodile. If I were him, where would I fire a bombshell from?
Well, cut it out and look. We only have 5 minutes left. Then it cuts to Nami.
Chopper, can't you sniff it out with your nose?
Impossible! This whole city reeks of explosives!
Then what if you sniff out someone who smells like he's about to set off a bomb that's aimed at the center of the square?
What kind of a smell is that?
I don't know, just do your best.
Then it cuts to Sanji, who's running through the streets.
An explosive capable of blowing up everything in a 1.5-mile radius? Hold it. It's gotta be huge. And a projectile from a cannon flies in an arc, which would lessen the distance.
And here's the thing, Sanji's running at full speed, and then he just stops. Like he squats and he's thinking to himself while he's still skidding across the ground. Some of the way that characters move in the One Piece anime is just absolutely hilarious.
It's gotta be closer to the square. Crap, I don't have time to go around. I'll make a shortcut.
As Sanji kicks holes into buildings. He kicks holes in the buildings just to get back. Then it cuts to Pell and Vivi.
Pell, do you see anything?
I've checked all the rooftops around the square. There's no sign of a bomb or a cannon.
Could they fire it from inside a building?
I'll search everything.
All right.
As the entire crew continues to search for where this bomb is. Then it cuts to a distance and numerous bodies laying unconscious. And amongst these is Tashigi. It's Tashigi and her crew, as they've been utterly defeated by Robin earlier. And she struggles to get her sword in hand. And Luffy's right in front of Tashigi.
Straw Hat!
Where is he? Where's the croc? And then it cuts back to Tashigi as fighting continues, and she thinks back to Robin.
When are you going to learn that you can't beat me?
And then it cuts to Robin using her arms to break the leg of Tashigi. Now, when it comes to things that live in my head rent-free, this was a moment from One Piece that I remember where we see Tashigi holding her leg, and then we have the arms of Robin in different places around her legs, and she basically just broke the leg of Tashigi. Just the mere thought of someone's leg being broken by being pulled in the opposite direction, it is excruciating to think about. I know it's a mind over matter thing, but that sort of thing happening to you, it's got to be extremely painful. And just picturing that in my mind, it's just horrifying to witness. Like seeing a leg being bent in the wrong direction forcefully. Horrible. 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 But it cuts to Robin breaking the leg of Tashigi. And then it cuts to Crocodile, who's in front of Tashigi when he was making his way towards the mausoleum as well.
Yeah, So she pummeled you, eh? I never thought the Navy would pursue us here. What became of your boss? Did Little Smoker run away? Losers shouldn't boast about enforcing justice. The sea favors the strong. If you want to babble about justice, go do it in the safety of the Navy headquarters.
Then it cuts back to the present with Luffy asking her again, "Tell me!" And then Tashigi drops her sword and points in the direction of where they went.
The Royal Mausoleum.
That way? Thanks! And then it cuts to Tashigi, who just can't stand the fact that she didn't have the power to do anything.
Justice? Navy headquarters?
As she slams her head into the ground. Then it cuts to Luffy, who runs. Then it cuts to Luffy, who's running towards where the mausoleum is. Then blood starts to shoot out from his abdomen. And then Luffy, even though he's going full tilt, starts to wobble, and then he hits the ground.
Huh? It's getting hard to move. That's funny. I ate plenty of meat. It's just a little cut. Maybe I'm a little tired.
And then Luffy tries to get back up, and then he just falls all over again. But this time, he stops moving. And then it cuts to Robin, who's standing in this big room in front of this massive square stone object that appears to have writing across it.
Did you find what you wanted?
And then Robin is just right there. Robin's there reading it, apparently. And then Crocodile's making his way towards the mausoleum, but he notices the secret stairway that goes towards it.
A secret stairway, eh?
Then it cuts to Tashigi, who's struggling to stand up and make her way through the city. Then it cuts to Zoro and Usopp. It cuts to Vivi. It cuts to Luffy, who's unconscious. And then it cuts to the clock tower. Palace Square. Time until the explosion, 4 minutes. See, when we were told that it would take 25 minutes for the explosion to happen, well over an hour has passed since I read that. So yeah, if One Piece operated in real time, so many things would happen within a span of a few months. And then afterwards, it would just be 2 years and then more months after the time skip. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's the end of chapter 202. Onwards to 203. But first, another SBS. Reader, found him. Fu, ba, pa, sa. Also, Q. Whoo, do. Translation, Panda Man, it's Panda Man. I saw Panda Man running away. Volume 20, page 60, first panel. Also, I have a question. Where does Panda Man live? Does Panda Man like to travel? Oda, the last part was a little hard to make out. Are you all right there? Anyway, about Panda Man's residence, rumor has it he's a very important person, on some islands anyway. Maybe that's why he's being pursued and therefore needs to be on the run. Sorry, but if I say any more, I'll put myself in danger. Oh no, it's them! Runs away. Reader, hello, Oda-sensei. I have a question for you. Because Chopper ate the Rumble Ball, he's able to perform 7 transformations, right? But Chopper already has done more than 7. Why is that? Oda, you're wrong there. There are only 7. When it cuts, and then it shows his limb boost, his horn boost, his guard boost, his brain boost, his jumping boost, his arm boost, and then his weight boost. And there are the 7. His usual animal form is limb boost. His usual man-beast form is brain boost. And his human form is weight boost. So the Rumble Ball allows him to do 4 transformations in addition to these 3. I hope this clears that up. Chapter 203, Crocodile-ish. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 18, proposing to my beloved Octopaco one more time. Because it cuts to a girl that Hachi was into, but she was not into him, because apparently she's throwing away some, what looks to be takoyaki, and she's just throwing it and tossing it on the ground. Woman, you wasting food. You already bad in my regard. If a woman wastes food, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's a no for me. I cannot be with somebody who wastes food. Ain't no way. That's just straight up disrespectful. This woman just takes the food that he was offering to her and then just tosses it away like, I don't want that. Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Wait till I like 2 checks. Excuse me? Ain't no way you gonna waste food in front of me. That's not how that works. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I refuse to go with anybody if they waste food. I refuse to go with any woman that wastes food. Ain't for me. Ain't for me. But chapter 203, Crocodile-ish. I'm sorry, I got kind of triggered by that. Because I'm a person that it is a firm believer in not wasting food at all. So when I see people waste food, whether they're fictional or real, it's like, it rubs me the wrong way. Because I was raised to finish my plate. I was raised that it's not like there's people out there who could eat that food that you're eating, so you need to eat all of it. Don't be wasteful. But when I see stuff like this, it kind of triggers me. Because that part in me that just gets riled up. It's all like, really? You're wasting food? How dare you? Hachi, this woman is not worth your time if she wastes food. She's not worth your time if she wastes food. I'm sorry. But it cuts to Luffy, who's still laying face first into the ground, unconscious as he's still bleeding. Then it cuts to someone walking down the stairs. And as they're walking down the stairs, we see the faces of Cobra and then Robin.
Is this all there is? Are there any other poneglyphs here in Alabasta?
Not satisfied? I kept my end of the bargain.
True.
Quite a national treasure you have here. Quite a national secret you have here. No one could find this place unless they knew it was here. So this is the poneglyph, eh, Nico Robin?
That was quick.
Most unusual. Mysterious. Were you able to decipher it?
Yes.
Then read it to me. This poneglyph.
And then it cuts to Robin, who reads the poneglyph.
Kahira was conquered by Alabasta. That was in the year of heaven 239. In the year 260, Taimar of the Bitian dynasty took the throne. The great top temple in Erumalu was completed in the year 306. In the year 325, the great hero of Otia, Mahmudin...
Hey, stop! This isn't what I want to know! I don't care about this kingdom's history. Just tell me where it's hidden. The secret location of the most destructive weapon in the world!
It's not recorded here. This is just a history of the kingdom.
What?
There's no mention at all of the Pluton.
I see. How unfortunate. You were an excellent partner, but I'm going to kill you now.
What?
The deal we made 4 years ago has come to an end. You were the one who came to me, saying if I brought you to the poneglyph, you in turn would give me information about the Pluton. During the 4 years you worked for Baroque Works, you showed remarkable intelligence and leadership.
That was good enough for me.
That was good enough for me. I will say this, you are an extremely valuable woman. However, you have failed to fulfill your end of the agreement. The Alabastan poneglyph reveals nothing about the Pluton.
And he tries to swipe at Robin and only manages to grab her cowboy hat in the process.
But I feel no anger towards you. Do you know why, Nico Robin?
Fool, I was your partner for 4 years. Did you think I wouldn't anticipate what you'd do?
Huh?
And she takes a vial of water out of her jacket.
Water, huh?
As she tosses it towards him. But then an arm appears on the crocodile, and it's prepared to throw it directly on him with no way for him to avoid it.
Ugh.
If water is splashed on you, then this knife can cut you.
But then Crocodile just turns into sand anyway, and he disappears before this arm can throw the water on him.
He's gone. Where?
And then there's a shunk sound as Crocodile drives his hook straight through Robin and then rips it out.
I forgive you, Nico Robin, for everything. After all, I never trusted anyone from the start.
And then it shows Nico Robin falling forwards as she coughs up blood.
I know from Cobra's reaction that the Pluton does indeed exist. Instead of relying on this old rock, I'll find it myself. Once this kingdom is in my hands, it will only be a matter of time.
Then there's a massive kaboom sound. There's a massive kaboom sound as the entire ruins they're in starts to shake around them.
What's happening? It's too soon for the explosion in the square. You, what did you do?
As Crocodile stares at Cobra. Nothing much. By removing one small column, the stability of this underground chamber has been compromised. It's collapsing. You two will die here, with me. As the 12th ruler of the House of Nefeltari, I will not surrender Alabasta to the likes of you.
You're a true paragon of kingliness. You intend to bury yourself alive, taking me with you for the sake of the kingdom, eh? But you can't kill me. I'll turn every stone here into sand and make my escape. In 3 more minutes, the palace square will explode, and you will be entombed here forever. Everyone who stands in my way will be destroyed in an instant, and from that moment, this land will be mine. You'll die like a dog, Cobra.
And it just shows the ruins crumbling around Crocodile. And then it cuts back to the clock tower as it continues to tick. And then it cuts to Vivi as she's running, and her shoes rip off and she falls to the ground. She winds up skidding and badly scraping up her leg in the process. And it's heavily bleeding. It is heavily bleeding. I remember when I used to get scars like this as a kid. I did dumb things, and when you do dumb things as a kid, you suffer consequences. I remember messing up my legs when I was a kid, so I kind of feel for her, because I still got scars from when I messed up as a kid doing things I shouldn't have been. So I can feel for Vivi as her leg is throbbing in pain and bleeding. As she thinks,
Where is it? Only 2.5 more minutes. A huge cannon that can destroy everything in an area 3 miles wide? Where could they possibly have it? We've looked everywhere. Why can't we find it? Where is there a space big enough for that cannon?
Ah! A stray bullet!
as it cuts to Usopp as a stray bullet grazes past his nose. Mind you, Usopp is covered in bandages from head to toe, including his long nose as well, so the bullet kind of grazes the bandage.
Ah! Whoa! A stray bullet!
A big place.
Ravi, good to see you. We're getting kind of closer and closer to the end of this volume.
A big place.
No fair, Koza. That's where you were hiding. That's where you were hiding. Yeah, no fair!
That's it.
Watch it! Why you? Smokestar!
That place. It's big enough and secluded too.
You idiot!
You idiot, I'm not a rebel! As it cuts to a royal guard swiping at Usopp.
Usopp! Oh, hi, Vivi! Did you find the guy who got the bomb? Ah!
As Vivi immediately grabs onto Usopp's nose to make him stop running.
I figured it out. It has to be there.
What? Are you sure? All right, then. I'll call the others. You sure, right? You're sure, right?
Yes.
Lethal weapon, red serpent star!
And then Usopp just shoots a flare into the sky. And then it goes high above the clouds into the skyline. And then it cuts to Nami running, and Chopper is trying to direct her towards it. Sanji sees it. Pell sees it. Zoro is in the wrong direction, so he can't even see it. And Luffy, we see the flare go up, but Luffy is still face first in the ground. And then it turns out that Luffy was unconscious, not because of lack of blood, but because he basically just slept that off. Huh? That was a good nap. Oh yeah, suddenly I couldn't move, so I decided to take a quick nap. And now I'm better, so... Oh yeah. Okay, Crocodile, I'm gonna blast you! And then it cuts to Luffy as he runs past the entrance. And then he doubles back and he looks at it and stares at it and goes like, that hole looks crocodile-ish. He's literally just going to the area where Crocodile is on assumption. How many more chapters do we have? We have 205, correct? Yeah, we do. So we've reached the end of 203. We got an SBS and then we have chapter 204. SBS! Reader. Ding dong! Hi, Oda-sensei. You always seem awfully busy, so today 8th grader Meg is going to help you with your illustrations. 8th grader Meg got an A in art class. Plus, she's an aspiring manga artist. Splat, the sound of ink dropping. Oops, sorry, I'll be leaving now. 8th grader Meg. Oda, what do you think you're doing? Hey, you, get back here! Come on, you could at least white out that ink blot. Pathetic. Reader, in volume 19, upon close inspection, it seems that Chopper is pulling at the mouth of the mysterious crab mover in order to make it move faster. Why is that? Please tell me! Moomin. It's Moomin. Like Moomin Rider, but not spelled that way. Moomin! Oda, you're right. Crab movers are very hard to control, so if you want it to go right, you tug at the right side of its mouth. And if you want to go left, you tug at the left side. In crab mover language, it would be a right smirk and a left smirk. If you want to go slow, you give a little tug on both sides, doing a right half smirk or a left half smirk. And if the rider happens to make a lame joke, the crab mover's face will cramp up, making it impossible to control. So you have to be careful. Reader, Mr. Oda, can you explain what the Ran and Gakuran means? Oda, I don't know. Maybe it's the rain and maybe it's the Ran and Rano, which is, Japanese for egg yolk. I know. It's Ran as in Ranpaku for egg white. How's that? Gakuran is a boys' school uniform. Gaku means school, and Ran-da means clothing. And this is a note from the editor. Chapter 204, Red. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 19. X marks the spot where the great Octo Smash lives. And it shows Hachi, who's face to face with a giant octopus or giant squid, and it completely eclipses him. But then it cuts to the ruins as it continues to get destroyed, and Luffy's down there in the ruins, avoiding pieces of the ruins crushing him. Whoa! What's going on here? The roof is caving in! And Luffy is just agilely dodging everything. It's already nighttime here, 11 p.m. Well, hopefully I can get this whole volume done so you can be able to see the end of the stream before you head off to bed, Ravi. But it cuts to the flare going up in the sky.
Are you sure that's the place?
It has to be.
Hold on, I'll leave a note here for the others.
I'm going on ahead, Usopp.
Wait! Vivi, wait!
And then it cuts back.
Hurry!
And then it cuts to the clock tower once again. And then it cuts to more members of Baroque Works.
Hooey, it's the princess! We found her!
Thanks for leaving that note.
It's the Baroque Works.
I tipped off the enemy!
Usopp, you're kind of dumb. Hey, we've gone in this direction. Follow us there. Usopp. Oh, Usopp. So, since Luffy's not around, we need someone to be extremely dumb.
Ah! I tipped off the enemy!
That's Usopp's signal. When did the palace get so far away? And it shows that Zoro has basically ran out of the entire area, the entire kingdom. He's back where we all started when they all went their separate ways to disguise themselves as Vivi to fool Baroque Works. He's all the way out in the desert, outside of the town. He's outside of Alabasta. This man's sense of direction is awful. And then it cuts to Sanji. It's close by.
I wonder if she found the bomber.
She must have. Hurry!
Usopp, noise!
As Usopp takes a giant giant chalkboard and he starts dragging his nails across it, causing all the Baroque Works agents' ears to split in pain, and even Vivi's holding her hands up to her ears.
Now's our chance, Vivi!
Right!
They're getting away!
Hold it! As the Baroque Works members, the Billions, try to go after them. And then it cuts to another explosion, as it cuts to Luffy, who's face to face with Crocodile, breathing heavily. And then Crocodile just looks completely perplexed and furious over the fact that this man he keeps trying to kill keeps coming back.
You!
Found you, Croc.
Why won't you die? I keep killing you and killing you, yet you keep coming back for more. Straw Hat!
Why have you come? Goes Cobra. And then it cuts to Robin, who's not quite dead, and she's struggling to move.
Straw Hat?
How many times must I kill you?
And then it cuts back to Luffy, who goes, you haven't given back that thing you stole.
What thing that I stole? Money, honor, trust, life, or the rain? Which one do you want me to give back? I've stolen so many things.
The kingdom.
The kingdom? You say such funny things. I'm about to take over the kingdom now, once I become ruler of this land. When we set foot on this land...
Oh, it cuts back to Luffy. When we set foot on this land, this kingdom of hers was long gone. And then cuts back to Usopp and Vivi. I love how it doesn't matter how many times Luffy gets knocked down and ends up falling asleep and then wakes up remembering who he's fighting. Yeah, you get the sleepness that is all like, what was I doing? Oh, I get it. Back to running, full speed ahead. That's just how Luffy works. But it cuts to Usopp and Vivi.
Hurry! Hurry!
And then it cuts to Vivi, who goes,
we're going to reason with him. I don't want any more bloodshed. Until recently, Erumalu was green and full of life.
Please, Princess Vivi, stop those fools. If this really were her kingdom,
what's so wrong about not wanting anyone to die?
She would be laughing a lot more, as Luffy grits his teeth and rushes Crocodile. You all from US, right? Is tipping culture as bad as they say on social media over there? It really does depend on the place. Like, if you mean, like, expectancy to get a tip from when you go to different places, when you go to different restaurants and places, it does depend on the location. Not every restaurant behaves this way, but some places are so finicky and it's all like, oh, you have to tip. Or like, oh, we're not going to give you good service unless you tip, or stuff like that. Some states are like that. Some restaurants are like that. Some restaurant chains are like that. It can get that bad. It can, in fact, get that bad, but it has to be it's specific places, though. Not every place behaves this way, but it has to be specific places. Because I know the places I go to, they're not, the places I go to eat, the numerous places I go to eat, they're not finicky about that sort of thing. I don't mind tipping them simply because the service is that good. And mainly because I tend to go to restaurants and places that are either like 90, like 94 and above. So I never really go to any places where they act all out of sorts in case you don't tip. So it really does it really does depend on the place. It's kind of expected but not required. Yes, that's exactly right. Ogata-san, you're really a master of putting what I say into shorter words. You don't have to tip at McDonald's, that's for sure. I mean, even if you did, that ice cream machine would still be broken. It would not matter. Even if you could tip at McDonald's, that ice cream machine would still be broken every single week, which is crazy. This is in every McDonald's. There's always going to be a McDonald's that has a broken ice cream machine somewhere. Isn't that insane that we've never, in the history of the restaurant being a business, have ever figured out a way to get better ice cream machines that don't break down? That's insane. But going back to it, if this were really her kingdom, she'd be smiling, she'd be laughing a lot more. And then Luffy rushes towards Crocodile, and then he flinches as Crocodile just looks at him oddly, and Luffy launches at him.
Fool, you don't even have any water with you. What could you possibly...
And before Crocodile can even finish that sentence, Luffy delivers a solid, massive kick to his face. Solid, massive hit to his face, causing Crocodile to spew out blood from his mouth and nose, sending him crashing into a nearby wall.
Ugh. Impossible. He has no water. How is he able to kick me?
If it weren't for you, Alabasta would
still be at peace.
Okay.
Your love for your country moves me to tears, but that love would destroy Alabasta.
Crocodile!
Wait!
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's directly in front of Crocodile, and Luffy's face is right here. It's right here. You see Luffy's fist going into Crocodile's face right there. It's just right there. Full force. And Luffy just bodies Crocodile right there instantly. And he bodies Crocodile into a nearby wall. Crocodile has absolutely no defense against this. And Crocodile is coughing and wobbling a little bit as his face continues to bleed.
Did you use blood?
Blood can make sand harden too, right? As it shows that Luffy's arms are covered in blood.
Fine. First in the desert outside Rain Base, then in the Royal Palace, and now in this underground mausoleum. Die a third and final time for daring to challenge me. I'll reward your persistence.
And it cuts to Luffy, who tries to kick Crocodile, and Crocodile dodges out of the way.
But as a pirate.
As he takes off the golden cover that goes over his hook.
I must admit, your never-ending drive to defeat me is indeed impressive. You're an irritating little fool, but a worthy foe.
He takes the hook, the golden covering that's on his hook, and it reveals like a hook that has like holes in it. It came off. What's that?
A poisonous hook.
I get it.
Then you understand. We're both pirates, and when pirates fight, it's to the death. There are no rules in combat. When the square above us explodes, this place will be buried instantly. This is the end. Let's settle this once and for all.
As Luffy, with his hands and body covered in blood, prepares to face off against Crocodile, who sees Luffy as a worthy foe and takes his covering off so he can kill Luffy with the poisonous hook. And then it cuts to some naval soldiers. Oh, look! It's Roronoa Zoro! Drat, the Navy's here. I don't have time for this. Why are you here? What are you doing? That's my line. Go back! Turn north at the last corner. You'll come out in the square. Go back and turn right. This is not the way. Are you stupid? Stupid? What? What?
As it turns out that these naval soldiers have beaten up members of Baroque Works and are directing Zoro to the square with the rest of the Straw Hats.
Ah!
And it cuts to another individual who's taken out more Baroque Works members.
Hurry, Usopp! Thanks?
We're here to help you. You've got to stop the explosion in the square. Now move! I was looking at what you said, Ogata-san. You always get a shake with your nuggets and fries, but it's always a bummer when that happens. Yeah, it's always a bummer. I tend to get my milkshakes at night, even though I shouldn't do that because that's when the workers stop putting in the lunch rush effort and stop putting in closing time effort. So I try to get my food during the day, or at least when it's still light out. Or at least before it gets too late. But that's the end of chapter 204. Onwards to chapter 205, which is the last chapter for this volume. We got one more SBS, and then the final chapter. So let's close out strong, everybody. Reader, I have a question for Mr. Oda. In volume 20, page 174, panel 1, where Miss Merry Christmas dives in a hole, the sound effect whoosh has a fish in it. Why did you do that? I have to know. Oda, it was just because she was doing her mole swimming stealth style. Why don't we try it? How to say whoosh. Arc your eyebrows as high as you can, without moving your face. Look up as high as you can. Push out your lower teeth. Ready? Woo! It's weird. Here, most waiters don't even know what the tip is. If you left some change, they come after you saying you forgot this. Some do that. Some don't even expect tips. Some don't even expect tips. Some don't expect it. Some don't even know what it is because gratuity is kind of random, the places you go eat to. But you say, ready? Whoosh! Were you able to do it? Go ahead and show your parents and friends, but they're going to think you're a goofball. Here, Ravi, you're saying that where you are. Here, most waiters don't even know what a tip is. If you left some change, they come after you saying you forgot this. Oh, wow, I thought that was Ogata-san. Wow, so where you're at, most waiters don't even know what tip is. Interesting. Reader, even though Nami and Miss All Sunday were wearing short skirts when they're fighting, we never see their undies. What color are they? Please tell me. It would be someone asking this question, wouldn't it? Oda, that's rather personal. What a question, and yet you seem so casual about it, as though you'd be surprised if anyone thought it was weird. You shouldn't be asking these things. I know, right? But if I were to take a guess, back in volume 14, Nami was wearing a black bra, so we better end it right there. I value my life, you know? Yeah, because Nami could show up at any moment. Reader, hello, Mr. Oda. What's next week's question corner going to be about? How about Usopp's lies? Luffy finds a treasure chest and Chopper's nose turns red. Okay, I'll be looking forward to it. Rock, paper, scissors! Hee, well, that's it for the question corner. President All-Brand Kitty, the question corner conclusion club. Oda, darn it, I was going to do scissors. I overthought it too much. Darn it, I knew I should have gone with scissors. Oh well, we'll see you in the next volume. Darn it. Saze-san, a popular and long-running anime, always ends each episode with a game of rock, paper, scissors. Another note from the editor. Onwards to the last chapter for today, and then you guys can go about your lives and do what you want. I just want to say, for everyone who stuck out this entire time, thank you for enjoying time with me. Because more and more people are discovering this channel, more and more people are subscribing, which is great. More and more people are tuning in. I just want to say thank you for making this one of the best decisions of my life. Thank you. I enjoy these. And my voice enjoys it too. Chapter 205, The San Band's Secret Fort. Hachi's Walk on the Seafloor, Volume 20. Hachi's Rage at Being Fooled. Because apparently the treasure map that he was given by those dudes turned out to be a fake. And it really was just leading him to this location with this giant squid, which he's beaten up. There's no treasure. He's been duped. And then it cuts to the rebels fighting the rebels fighting the royal soldiers. And it cuts to Usopp and Vivi running through the streets. Hurry! Hurry! We've lost a lot of time, but if the Navy hadn't come to our...
But if the Navy hadn't come to our aid, it would have been even worse.
And then it cuts to Vivi as she's running through these streets and she's seeing people being killed left and right.
Don't look at them! The bloodshed'll be a lot worse if we don't stop that explosion.
I know.
Praying won't save your people. 2 minutes from now, we'll either be dead or we'll have won. We still have 90 seconds left.
Right.
We're all with you.
Right.
And then it cuts to Nami.
There they are. Vivi, Usopp.
Oh.
Nami, Chopper. What's going on? The Navy came to our rescue.
Did you find the bomber?
Not yet, but I know I'm right. They must have calculated all this dust and smoke into their plan. So it has to be a place they can still take aim from. A big place that isn't visible from the sky.
And then we get a flashback.
Look, it's huge, right? This could be our secret fort.
I can't think of anywhere else it could be. It was right under our noses this whole time. The bomber has to be in the clock tower. The clock tower?
I see. You could get a good shot at the square from there.
And it cuts to the clock tower that's still ticking. And now we know that the ticking sound coming from the clock is not just the hour hands moving. It's ticking because there's a bomb inside. And then it cuts to Pell. There's no time. I'm sure I saw the smoke coming from around here. But with all the dust down below, I can't see very... And then all of a sudden, Pell gets shot while he's flying through the air.
Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Hey, I just shot down a great big bird with my ribbit, ribbit gun.
And it cuts to Pell as he's just falling through the air after being shot, because someone shot him while he was flying. I was careless. And then it cuts to the clock tower once again, still ticking. Then it cuts to the ruins as Luffy is still fighting against Crocodile. And Luffy sees Crocodile trying to hit him with his poison hook, and Luffy pulls his arm out of the way before Crocodile can do it. And then Luffy jumps backwards as we see Crocodile's hook hit into the ground, and apparently the poison is so corrosive that you see like this burning smoke coming up from where Crocodile's hook has hit the ground. And they're both huffing and puffing because they're both tired, and they're both going all out to bring each other down. Gum Gum Bullet! And then before he can say Gum Gum Bullet, Luffy is right there, seeing that Crocodile's trying to grab him and drain him of moisture. Luffy dodges out of the way. So the Crocodile can't grab him. And then he tries to kick Crocodile while still dodging, but Crocodile dodges. And then they both keep dodging each other's moves. And then it cuts to Luffy as he's looking at Crocodile, whose hook is embedded into some stone, and then the stone itself starts to melt because of the corrosive nature of the poison in the hook. Just as it was saying before, when it had like this sizzling sound, the poison inside of Crocodile's hook is so corrosive that it can melt stone. But as Crocodile draws his hook out, we see that a little blood pops up from Crocodile's forehead, so he's still been injured a little bit. And they're both just staring each other down. Yeah, they're both just staring each other down. Then, as a piece of rubble falls in between them, they both rush each other, and they break through the pillar that's in front of them to land blows on each other. Luffy kicks Crocodile in the face, and Crocodile slashes Luffy in his left shoulder. And then it cuts to Luffy grabbing a hold of Crocodile's arm, flipping underneath it, and using his heel to come right down on the head of Crocodile, slamming him into the ground. And Koba can do nothing but just watch on. Who is this boy? Crocodile slays my soldiers as though they were mere bugs, and yet he...
I've impaled you, I've buried you alive, I've dried you up at every time you've come back. However, you won't come back from this. I've won. Soon the poison will start to take effect. And then it cuts to Luffy. As the part where he's been slashed by Crocodile is sizzling, he goes, "You still don't get it." Then it cuts to Vivi and company outside.
What happened to Pell? Vivi, even if this is the place, we'll never make it up there in one minute. I'd hope that Pell might...
Well, we just gotta use the stairs. Where's the entrance?
And then it cuts to someone going, huh?
What?
Hey, Nami, Vivi! And it cuts to Sanji, who's halfway up the building.
What are you doing up there?
I found your note beside the smoke beacon you left.
It said clock tower, so...
It said clock tower, so I climbed up here. What do you want me to do? Where's the bomber? Huh?
Go to the top, up above, climb up and pulverize him.
Huh? Hey, I've been looking for you guys. And Zoro is at the top of the building, just underneath where the clock tower is.
Zoro too?
What are you doing there? That's my line. Well, the Navy kept saying go north, so I climbed up.
North and up are totally different things. Never mind, good job, just climb up to the top.
It won't work,
goes Vivi.
What?
Neither of them can enter the clock tower from where they are. The only access to the tower is through a stairway located at the far corner of the first floor. But Zoro
could easily smash through the tower walls.
But that might trigger the explosion. We have no choice. We'll have to take the stairs.
And then Nami goes,
wait, Vivi, I have an idea. Ribbit.
I read it wrong when it says like,
ribbit. Looks like I shot a big bird.
It was there before.
Ribbit. Hey, I just shot down a great big bird with my ribbit gun.
But we hear someone going,
ribbit.
And the clock face opens up.
Hey! Oh, what?
Huh?
Well, Mr. Seven, this is our final mission. Ribbit.
According to my calculations, there's just 30 seconds to go. This man, I forgot about this guy. I forgot about this guy. I remember him in 4Kids. His voice just stuck with me all my life. There's just 30 seconds to go. We have Ms. Father's Day, frontier agent of Baroque Works, who's dressed up in a major frog motif-like ensemble. And Mr. Seven, frontier agent of Baroque Works, who's like this dude in this outfit that is just patterned off of the number 7. Even his eyebrows are shaped in number 7s. His gun is shaped in number 7. His shoes are shaped in the number 7. His clothes have number 7s all over the place. And it cuts to Nami and company going,
who are they?
And Vivi goes,
Mr. Seven?
To be continued in One Piece Volume 23. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of Volume 22 of One Piece, and that's where I'm going to call it a session here for today. Thank you, everyone, not only for being here, but for your continued support of the channel. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing this with everyone so even more people can show up to the channel, or whether you're super chatting and donating in the different ways that they have towards the channel for super chat, for live streams, and super thanks for videos, and even being members. I just want to say thank you for everything that you really do. And I'm never going to stop saying thank you, because without you guys, this channel would not be as big as it is. Without you, it really wouldn't. So I owe you guys so much. So thank you for everything. Also, thank you for tuning in. This was a great read. I'm going to get myself something to eat, a big old meal with a big old drink to coat my throat, because that crocodile voice, it can get me sometimes, but not to the point where I can't speak. And then I'm going to relax the rest of the day. I still got some things I need to mess with on my Switch. I booted up Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition, the first Hyrule Warriors. How does that game run better than Age of Calamity? That game runs at 60 or almost 60. It's smooth. And it's a game that I haven't even finished. I still haven't gone through all the story missions, so that's something that's going to keep me occupied for a while. And then I still have other things I need to do for the channel. But everyone, it is an immense honor and privilege to be your entertainer this afternoon. All I can say at the end of the day is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. It's time to eat!